Okay guys, Unit 1 packet, this is the first lesson. These problems are typed up in your packet, so I'm just going to go through and do them for with you, I should say. First thing is I've got this equation that I want to solve, and I want to cancel out my denominators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor the first denominator. And now I want to look at all three denominators and see what can I multiply by so that all of them cancel out. And if I multiply this entire equation by an x plus 2 and an x minus 1, every denominator will cancel out. Okay, so now when I take those two quantities and I multiply it to the first fraction, both of those are going to cancel with my denominator. I'll be left with a 9 equals. When I go to my next fraction, so now I'm multiplying my next fraction by x plus 2 and an x minus 1. If you'll notice, the x plus 2 is going to cancel here, so what I'm left with is a 3 times an x minus 1, okay? And then on the third fraction, when I multiply, the x minus 1 cancels, and I'm left with 7 times x plus 2. From here, it's very straightforward. Distribute, solve for x. What you want to do at the very end, check your answer. You want to make sure that x is not equal to a -2 or a +1, because -2 and +1 would make the fractions undefined. So again, just distribute and solve. Make sure your answers are not -2 or +1. So that's the first question. Second one, very similar. I look at my denominators. I want to get those to cancel out. There's no factoring I have to do. So I'm just going to go through and multiply everything by the quantity 2x minus 1. So when I take that quantity and multiply it to the first fraction, the denominator cancels. I'm left with a 3x squared. Plus, when I take that and distribute to the second fraction, it cancels. I'm left with a 3x minus 4. Equals. Here, there's nothing to cancel, so I have -2 times 2x minus 1. Okay, so now, just like the previous problem, you need to distribute and solve for x. Because you have your x squared, it is a quadratic, you're going to need to get everything onto one side of the equation so that you can set it equal to 0 so that you can factor and solve. And again, like the previous problem, you want to make sure that x does not equal a +1/2, because that would make the fractions undefined, and we don't want that. So from here, distribute, move these two terms over to the left side, set it equal to 0, so, and then you're going to have to factor and solve. Okay, good luck.